What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here coming at you today with Q&A number 15. Before we get into the Q&A, just want to do a couple quick shout outs because I'm not sure if I did them in my last video, so I'm just going to do them again now just in case. So shout outs to Raul and Estefani Basinas, new subscribers. Thank you so much guys, you're the reason my channel is growing stronger. And once again with my Q&A, the only questions that have been posted today are by my good friend DarkPatrician84, but thank you very much for posting them, man. So let's get into them. Before we get into the Q&A questions, a couple quick comments from Dark Patrician based on the, I think probably from the last Q&A, because I made a couple points about Neos Wise Man, and he's right. So you've replied, "You're right about Neos Wise Man. If it battles a monster, burn the opponent for its attack points and gain life points equal to its defense points. Also, it can't be destroyed by card effects. Luckily, Neos Kluger makes Neos Wise Man easier to bring out." That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure I knew that Neos Kluger did something in regards to Neos Wise Man, because he essentially just kind of looks like Neos Wise Man. And I agree about that combo with Clifford Stealth. That wasn't fun. It is not fun. Which is why I'm really glad Clifford got hit so badly back in the day. I don't really know how badly they've been hit now, but really not seeing lots of Clifford, which I'm fine with. Okay, so question 1. Thoughts on Legendary Hero? I think you remember it, the hero deck based on the protagonist's ace monsters. Yes, I do vaguely remember your Legendary Hero. It was really interesting. It was quite interesting because now, like, it's not exactly something that's uncommon. I've seen lots of online videos, like recently on Master Duel as well as also back in the day. People have been trying to do People like to do like cool things like that of summoning multiple protagonist ace monsters in a turn, and it's pretty interesting. Nice to see it's very interesting to see a deck besides Pendulum try and manipulate multiple summoning methods. So it's always pretty interesting to see. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Now we're getting into the hated decks. Ooh. So question 2: thoughts on Valkyries? Valkyries, slight apologies about the noise, guys. I forgot one of my neighbors is doing something with working on their car. So, yeah. Okay, so, back to it. Thoughts on Valkyries. So for their playstyle, it's interesting. Like, a lot of their spells are kind of annoying. I mean, and also the combination of the 3 goddess cards, that's pretty irritating to just free get rid of a card and then potentially just make your opponent brick, which isn't fun. And also Mischief of the Time Goddess, just go to your battle phase, do all your attacks. End of battle phase, Mischief of the Time Goddess, do it all again. Complete BS. It's not particularly fun to deal with, but it's just what their gimmick is. Fortunately, I don't face it too frequently, so it's not so bad. Overall, for the deck style and what it does, it's overall quite interesting and not necessarily the worst thing to play against. Unless I'm against a specific person I can think of from locals who specifically insist on going through all the turns in complete anime style, which is just... Like, I get it, some people like to do that, but in some people's case we're just like, can you please get on with it? Not everybody enjoys it. Question 3. Thoughts on Shadows? I know you also briefly played them back in 2015, but I'm curious on your thoughts nowadays. If you say Now when you say briefly played them, what you would technically mean is, I went halves on a set of Megatins with my friend Martin, picked up most of the Shadow deck and the reprints, decided to build it, and then subsequently 1 week later Konami decided to ban Construct, which subsequently made all my efforts in it wasted, so I never actually properly learned how to use it. But it didn't really matter because Construct got banned, so I didn't really need to do anything with it. So yeah. But in terms of like nowadays, like Shadow doesn't see too much as a deck on its own, but with the introduction of Shadow Schism, it's being seen in lots of engines, particularly that are using things like It's being seen lots in Dogmatica engines, so on one hand, yes, it's a very interesting way of doing it. So yeah, that's one way to try and keep Shaddolls alive in the game. Yes, everyone agrees that the community kind of agrees that wind is kind of unfair, but as most people say, oh, it's fine, just play the owl. And also, I'm not exactly in the best place to complain about it, considering I naturally did my variant of Endymion Dogmatica Shaddoll. But yeah. Well, I think, but frankly, for my case, it was kind of like, Endymion's got much easier ways of taking advantage of Construct. Oh no, wait, not Construct, Window, sorry. Window, because naturally Window's a spellcaster, so if it's fusion summoned properly and it dies, I can just bring it back with Selene, so kind of, it's one of those cards you're like, is there really a reason not to use it? I mean, I could be doing the same thing now, but now I'm kind of just in the position of like, I need the extra kind of like, I want to have the flexibility of extra deck space, and sometimes Millennium Eyes Restrictus is better. But yeah, overall, it's alright. I don't really like it. Wouldn't necessarily want to go against it, but now that I'm playing Necro Valley in my main deck, it's not so bad. Depending on which Shaddoll's being sent to grave, of course. Question 4. Before I get to that, my throat's getting sore. 4. Thoughts on Lair of Darkness. If I remember correctly, this was something you hated. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. You are not wrong, my friend. I do very much... I wouldn't say I hate Lair of Darkness. Like, the concept of what Lair of Darkness does is very interesting, and certainly makes it a unique deck to play. So I don't so much hate the card, I hate so much of what people use the card for. Like, my friend Will from Locals, he was pretty much the guy known for playing the Lair of Darkness deck. And it was just so annoying having to go against it, being like, effective Lilith under Lair, tribute my monster to get a trap. Tribute monsters under the virus cards and then screw me even more. Yeah, it wasn't fun going against what the deck does, it's interesting. Like, I don't completely hate the Lair of Darkness deck because it is a trap-based deck, so I have to give somewhat respect to a trap-based deck because naturally traps are some of the slowest cards in the game, so it's alright. It's just kind of for what the deck does, it's very annoying. I think probably the thing I hated most about Lair of Darkness is that at the time, Infernoid was also... It kind of gave Infernoid a reason to come back, and it made them even more broken. For those who are wondering, well, what exactly is the synergy between Infernoid and Lair of Darkness? Simple. Lair of Darkness states makes everything on the field a dark attribute monster, and states if you attribute a monster to activate something, you contribute a dark monster your opponent controls once per turn. So with Infernoid, essentially that just means effect of this Infernoid, tribute your monster, banish something from your graveyard. So you're essentially going -2 every time. And since it tributes his cost, one of the things that they can basically do with it is just be like, okay, he's got a response, so I'm just gonna be like, oh wait, I'm under Lair, cool. Effect of this Infernoid, using Lair, tribute your negate, get rid of something. That was not fun to deal with, so yeah. Overall, do not like Lair of Darkness as a card. As a deck, meh. Card itself, no. Question 5. Thoughts on Sacred Beasts? Sacred Beasts are quite interesting. I've been quite interested in how some decks of it back in the day, like Crystal Beast Hamon, that's a rather interesting deck. I think it's quite cool. Then I don't really think there were like a couple variants with Raphael which were like average. I tried a variant with Raphael, but it wasn't very good. But Uriah was really difficult to do because naturally it needs traps, which are also quite slow, and they have to be face-up traps. But with the latest support that they've had, they've gotten a lot better, so that's pretty good. So yeah, overall, the Sacred Beasts now, they're a lot better. I've played them once or twice. My friend Rory picked up the Sacred Beast deck when he found out about it and tried building a deck around it. It was quite interesting. I opted to choose to face it using Plunder Patrol simply because all 3 Sacred Beasts are the 3 attributes that I can take advantage of in Plunder Patrol, so that was pretty fun, and it was also quite interesting to see the new support in action, so yeah, overall, Sacred Beasts, pretty awesome. Question 6. Thoughts on Time Lords? Time Lords are an absolute pain in the rear to deal with. Like the fact that they can't be destroyed, they can't be destroyed in battle, they take no damage, and then they each get their own individual effects. Really annoying. Yeah, kind of annoying to deal with. Sorry guys. Yeah, Time Lords, they're not particularly very fun to deal with, so yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of Time Lords. Question 7. Thoughts on Blue Eyes Exodia FTK? I know I already asked about Exodia in general, I'm just curious on your thoughts on FTK variants. So again, going slightly back to my point of Exodia decks, I do respect people that try to do Exodia decks, because naturally, Exodia decks are very glass cannon. You either just go off, resolve, draw the 5 pieces of Exodia, or you just straight up get shut down partway between, and then you just basically auto lose. And probably the Blue Eyes one is, and naturally the Blue Eyes one is kind of very easy one because of all the support that exists in the game that revolves around the Blue Eyes and draw cards, because now we've got things like Melody of the Awakening Dragon, which can just search the Blue Eyes cards to your hand to go off things like trading to just draw more cards, and then you can also use like the Dragon Tuners of the stones in the deck with cards of Constantness of drawing more cards. So yeah, overall I respect the Blue Eyes Exodia FTK variant, because it's one of those, because like I said guys, with Exodia it's one of those, you either just go all out for it or you just get shut down quickly. Like pretty much one of the easiest ways of beating an Exodia deck, you hit them under Droll and Lockbird after they do a draw search effect, and that basically just ends their turn. So yeah, but overall pretty cool. Question 8. Thoughts on Dark World? I don't actually think I have very much experience in the past playing against Dark World. Like, I understand what they do. They go off discard-based effects. And I know that they've just had a structure deck in the OCG, which we'll be getting in the TCG soon. But haven't really taken too much look at what it does, so I don't really know what, like, their newish... I understand, yes, it's still probably going to be discard-based, but I'm not really sure what the new stuff does, so I don't really know what to think about it. I will probably have to take a look at Dark Worlds with the new support, and then probably get back to you on that one. Question 9. Thoughts on Scrap? So the scrap mechanic of destroying themselves to get beneficial effects is quite interesting. Overall as a deck, I find it's kind of average. When I played against it on the video game, it was kind of annoying to get round, but still relatively simple to beat. Overall, Scraps I think are quite cool, and Scrap Dragon's still probably one of the best generic synchros in the game. So yeah, he's pretty awesome. And also, I'm quite happy with it because I've got an ultimate rare one in my binder. And final one, question 10. Thoughts on dinosaurs? Any variant including True King Dinos? Okay, so since you've mentioned that one, I'll start with that one. True King Dinos was absolutely horrible back in the day. Because back when that first got released, we had Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, which basically just says, pop a card, book everything your opponent's got as a quick effect. In battle phase, attack into your defense monster, send it, burn you for a K. Attack, send, burn for a K. So annoying. And then also, because most of the dinosaurs were earth monsters, that was how the True Kings came into it, because of True King Lithosgym. Lithosgym is probably one of the worst cards I've ever hated in this game. Everyone who was playing when it was used against me, when I was playing, what was I on at the time? I'm pretty sure I was on Pendulum Magician at the time when it first came out. So, essentially, and with me, because back then Pendulum Magician had very much because this was like pre-Link when it first came out, so abusing the extra was very easy, but not against Trukings, because Trukings just basically go like, because with the Truking dinos it's just like, cool, similar effect, similar Throws Gym, scope 3 out your extra deck, let's see, we'll take out the Vortex, take out your Nirvana Paladin, and take out this monster. And then basically, with all my best resources gone, I'm just kind of, well, I don't really have anything to work off of now. So yeah, Truking dinos, not fun at all. As for like current variants of dinos, again, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, very annoying to deal with. And with things like the babies that can just summon out other monsters, getting resources. So yeah, dinosaurs not exactly the best things to deal with, but I don't really see too much of it, so it's not that bad. That being said, but I will say I did quite enjoy like the proper old school dinos back from GX, but just when they had the regular the regular things like Ultimate Tyranno and Superconductor Tyranno, so they were pretty cool. Also very much enjoyed the match from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, which was Hasselberry versus Cyrus. Seeing Hasselberry play his dino deck was quite interesting, and then subsequently have this massive powerhouse in his deck that subsequently lost to Cyrus tricking him and then forcing him into a continuous loop that killed himself. So yeah, that was great to watch. And on that note, guys, that's all the questions in this week's Q&A. Thank you very much to Darkrotation84 for your questions. Much appreciated. Remember, guys, for anyone who wants to post any questions for the future Q&As, I do these every Wednesday afternoon UK time, so get your questions in before then. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.